Hello everyone, I'm Amy with Eating Healthy, Spending Less, and today we're going to talk about how I prepare for each and every month. You don't want to miss it. So the first thing that I do at the end of each month is I get out my planner and I go to the next month and I see what activities do we have going on the next month. Is there anything that I need to pay for, like dental appointments, or like in March we have a daddy-daughter date night at our church, so there's going to be an expense for that. So I look at all of the different events that are going on for the next month to make sure that I know exactly what's happening. And then the next thing that I do is I pull out my budget notebook. This is just a plain paper budget notebook that I purchased at Target back to school time. They've got really pretty notebooks. They probably even have some right now too. But it's just a plain pen and paper budget. I also have a blog post about how to set up a cash system budget on my blog, so you can definitely check that out. So for February's budget, in my notebook, I write down February budget, and then under that, I put all of our income that's coming in for the month. Now, my husband's a school teacher, and I get paid too at the beginning of each month. So all of our income for the month comes in within the first 5 days of the month. So if you get paid throughout the month and it's varied, make sure that you are estimating on the low side of what you're going to be making, because anything over that you could put towards debt or savings or an expense that's coming up. So we put in our income, and then I subtract tithe immediately from that. And so then I have my new total. What is the amount of money that I have to work with for February? And then I write down all of our online bills under that. And then next to it, all of our cash expenses. This is that I'm going to be pulling cash from to pay for. And so that's what goes there. Then I make sure that all of my online bills and my cash equals what my total income is for the month. Now, under my online bills, I do put in a $100 buffer, because we like to do what's called a zero-based budget, where there's no just extra money floating around in our checking account. We want to make sure that every dollar has a purpose, so that it prevents us from overspending, or prevents me from going to a store that a lot of moms like to go to and just frivolously spending money. Because what happens when we do that is from personal experience, we had a season of like 6 months where we kept going into the red, and I would cry, and my husband and I would argue about our finances. We were just kind of miserable, stuck in a financial mess or cycle, and it just wasn't working for us. So Dave Ramsey, I know a lot of people either love him or don't love him. I love his principles that he teaches about budgeting, because it works. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have gone through his program and have had success. I haven't heard of anyone who hasn't had success using his financial principles. And so that is what we follow, and it works. It's so easy to do, and it's a great method to follow, and it keeps you from overspending. So in our cash categories, I do get personal money each month. My husband gets personal money, and that is what we use to go purchase whatever we want to purchase. And so that's kind of our fun money. And so we enjoy that. So that's a simple way of how we budget. So I go through my planner. I make sure all of the events are set in the planner. I make sure those events, anything that costs money or dental appointments or anything like that, because I've been going through some dental treatment, it's all in my budget. Then I sit down with my husband, Troy, because he does not like this part and I love this part. So after I get this done, I sit down with him and I have him look it over, because sometimes I miss something. And so I always want to make sure that he looks over it and he knows what's going on as well. And then when he gives me the okay, then I go to the bank and I pull all of our cash for the month. Now, a common question that I get asked on Instagram is, do I carry all of that cash around with me in my purse? And the answer is no. I have 2 systems that I use for housing our cash, and I'm going to show those to you right now. Okay, so when I go pull cash at the bank and I get home, I lay out all of my bills. Now, I didn't say this, but I want to say this before I move on. Before going to the bank, with each category, let's say it's grocery money, I pull $700 a month for groceries, and I pull all of those in $50 bills. So I write down how many 50s I need to fulfill that category. So then when I go to the bank, I'm able to tell her exactly how many of each bill I need to fulfill all of my categories for my budget. So when I get home, I lay out all the bills and I stuff my envelopes. These are my envelopes that I keep in my purse. So I have things like our household. This is for personal care products, toilet paper, anything like that. It's so important to separate your household personal care items from your grocery budget. I've explained this many times on Instagram, on YouTube. I have an article on my website. Definitely check it out. I have one for our dog, Bayou, for dog food or grooming. He's due for immunizations next month, so he has his own envelope. Gas money. I pull our cash for gas. I think it's so important for me to stay in my gas budget. And so I go in and I pay for my gas with cash. And so these are all of my envelopes, cash envelopes. Now, things that I'm saving up for, like Christmas, I pull $100 a month for Christmas. I put in this. So those stay in my purse. This stays in a safe. And I have different categories. These are so nice. I will post a link for you. It's not floral, it's just black or pink for an Amazon one. It's a kit that comes with everything you need. This one, this floral one, I purchased from Hobby Lobby. And then I purchased the inserts on Amazon, which I do have linked in my Amazon shop. So I'll put that in the show notes below. So here I have let's see, I'll read them to you real quick. Vacation, I've been putting money in for our vacations coming up. Car repairs, like oil changes, new tires, anything like that goes in here. Easter baskets, this is already full. I'm only budgeting $100 this year. I always spend way more than that, and I'm determined to only spend, I have 4 kids, $25 per kid, because they don't need anything. So it's just gonna be a special little Easter basket, nothing too exciting. Amazon, this is for Amazon membership. I pay for that every year. So it's $120, so I pull $10 a month for this. Garden beds, because we wanna build some new garden beds, but I haven't put any money in here yet. Birthday money, Christmas money, we want to put in a little basketball court in our backyard, and then we need to still renovate my master bathroom. So these are my sinking funds, and they're not all full. Some of them are still empty, but they are goals that I have set for myself for this year. And then we do have online savings accounts for like my daughter's braces. My husband is in the middle of a master's degree, so we are cash flowing his master's tuition every semester. And so I do have, and then we have our emergency fund. So we do have online savings accounts as well. Obviously, one of the biggest, most important parts of getting ready for the new month is the budget. I spent a lot of time talking about the budget because that's so important, but let's move on. What else do I focus on to get ready for a new month? So through this pandemic that we have gone through, I have really upped our vitamins. So one of the things that I am faithful in doing at the end of each month is going through my vitamin bucket and figuring out what new vitamins we need for the new month. So in our kitchen cabinet here, this is where I store all of our vitamins that we are currently taking. And then in our linen closet, I have a basket here with all of our extra vitamins that we're not currently taking right now. So some of these are just vitamins that I take in case there's a problem. And then others are just brand new bottles that we haven't opened yet. All of the vitamins that we purchase are linked in my Amazon shop, so I will leave, again, that link in the show notes below. But before adding this little routine to what I do at the end of each month, I forgot a couple of months about ordering vitamins, and then we're in the middle of the month. I didn't have a budget for it, and I needed vitamins. I wanted to make sure that we were staying healthy so that we didn't have to quarantine and my kids didn't have to be out of school and all of that mess. So when situations like that would happen, I would have to scramble and rework the budget to try and figure out how I was going to pay for those vitamins. So now it's set. At the end of each month, I just order all of our vitamins on Amazon, and that's how I do it. I know some people don't like to order medicine or vitamins on Amazon. Just check and see which shop they're coming from. I typically make sure I'm ordering from the brand that I am purchasing. And so then I've never had a problem though. So it's never been an issue for us. Next thing that I do is I walk around the house with a little notebook or my cell phone on like the Target app, and I add to the cart or write down, depending on who I'm ordering from that month, anything that we're running low on. I always like to have like at least 2 or 3 of an item, like dishwasher soap. I always like to have, a couple backups. Well, when I'm starting to run low on those backups, then I will add them to my household budget list or my phone, and I will order or purchase those items. So things like makeup, skincare products, lotions, Q-tips, saran wrap, aluminum foil, laundry detergent, which I've been making my own, but I do need some ingredients to make them. So making sure I have backups of those ingredients and things like that. So I just go through my utility closet, check to see what we're running low on, and then I add those to my household order for the month. The next thing that I do is I prepare for my next month's Azure Standard order. So as you all know, because I say it all the time, I break up our grocery budget like this. We have a $700 grocery budget. $300 a month goes towards my Azure Standard order or any other items that I need to bulk buy, like from Costco. I like Costco's peanut butter, their old-fashioned peanut butter. That's what I buy. And so there are certain things that I like to buy from Costco, and then I prepare for my Azure order. What am I going to need for the next month? So this month I am stocking up on soy milk because soy milk is really hard to find right now, I have noticed. I'm also stocking up on pinto beans because we're almost running low on our 25-pound bag of pinto beans, so I want to restock that. Last month, I restocked on our black beans and bought a 25-pound bag. So I need to look and see what else do I need to bulk buy on from Azure. And then the very last thing that I do to prepare for a new month is prepare a few freezer foods or ingredients. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm preparing in the kitchen, and I am so excited about this, friends. I'm so excited because here's the deal. As you all know, we don't eat meat, so these freezer foods that you're going to see are meatless and they're dairy-free and there's no eggs because a lot of freezer meals have those ingredients, and if you have food allergies in your home, it's hard to know what to make. Now, I am making muffins and pancakes, and I know that's kind of like common stuff, but it's what we eat. And so we are really good about eating up what is in our freezer, because here's the deal. I don't really like freezer meals. Like, I really don't like freezer lasagnas and freezer casseroles and things like that. Dump recipes, I do like for my Instant Pot. So I am going to prepare a couple of those for the month, but I would prefer just throwing together fresh ingredients in my Instant Pot on a day-to-day basis, or I don't have a crock pot anymore. I use my Instant Pot for everything, or throwing something in the oven. But having just a bunch of freezer meals is not enticing for me, and we don't really eat them. However, On the weekends, I love having some easy, quick, take it out of the freezer meals, like freezer burritos is an excellent one. And we can top those after I heat them up in the oven, then we can top them with enchilada sauce, some vegan cheese or whatever, some olives, avocado or guacamole, and it's an amazing meal I love. If you've ever read my Ultimate Kitchen Guide, it is an ebook. It's a guide on how to help you in the kitchen, managing your food storage, your freezer rotation, and having zero food waste. So in my freezer guide, I say you need to have something in your freezer every single month for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, and maybe have a treat. That would be number 4. In your freezer, ready to go. So for breakfast, I am going to have some pancakes in the freezer, ready to go. This is mostly for weekends. And then for lunch, sometimes we do muffins, sometimes we do freezer sandwiches. Today I'm going to make some blueberry orange muffins. This is the coolest part. I've been experimenting with this. It's really important to soak beans before cooking them because you want to break down that phytic acid that is on the bean so that your body is able to digest them more easily and you don't have gas and bloating after you eat beans. So this is what I've been experimenting with. You're going to take your beans, rinse them, and soak them in a bowl overnight. Then you want to lay those beans out on a baking sheet and pat them dry. Then they are ready for the freezer. That's right. You can add them to a dump recipe. You can do whatever you want. Add them to whatever recipes to put in the freezer. And then they're ready to go for the Instant Pot or putting on the stove to cook or whatever. You don't have to worry about soaking them. They cook up beautifully, and I'm so excited to show this to you. Well, I hope that this video helped you get ready for each month. This is exactly what I do to prepare, and it just makes the month go by so much more smoothly. I'm not worried about money. I'm not worried about having what I need in the house, like for household items. I'm not worried about vitamins anymore. I'm not worried about having freezer foods in my freezer. We use them up each month so that at the end of each month, I am ready to put new, fresh freezer food in the freezer. Nothing gets freezer burned, nothing goes bad. We just keep it fresh, interesting, and new. And then, of course, I prepare for my Azure Standard order as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and give this video a big thumbs up. And I love making YouTube videos all about handcrafted recipes using fresh ingredients and everyday living. And don't forget, this girl is on a budget. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.